Hello, Twitch! Hello! It's the
Hello.
Soapboxes, Zakashi Gaming, and Guy in a Hat Games. We're
Hello.
live back at you again from our evening in London.
Our evening in London.
Our evening in London, our long ass day
Fucking
traveling.
killed me off, not gonna lie.
Oh my god, I've never been so tired. Like,
Same.
oh
Like,
my god.
I want to know how Paige's feeling. Let's be real. Like, she's the main MVP again.
Honestly, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she does it.
I think it's just pure will and stubbornness.
Yes. Yeah, literally. I'm doing it in the day. We're coming back, and I don't care.
Between the three of us, like, we're both quite stubborn. Paige takes it to another level,
That
and
is
sometimes it
completely,
works to our benefit. A lot of the times
does.
it works to our benefit. So I'm
Yes.
incredibly grateful to them. But hello, Twitch. Hope everyone's well. The chat seems to be working again because
It seems to be.
because before it wasn't working. It was just not working at all. So I'm glad that's fixed itself out. So we're doing something a little different today. We are doing kind of a discussion panel. I guess
It's kind of. I don't know what this is. It's just whatever. It's a gushing. It's gushing over Final Fantasy VII. That's what this streams is really. If you're into Final Fantasy VII, then this is the place to be.
This is the one. So, but we basically went to the London Royal Albert Hall to see the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Orchestra. So we wanted to just talk about it, just talk about our experiences of the show. I think it was the first time Zach's ever been to the Royal Albert Hall.
Yep, to see an orchestra band. True. That's the first time I've ever been.
And his experiences with that, and I've been to a number of Distant Worlds ones before. So, but I've always gone. Not always, but I think I've been to a couple on my own, so it's nice for us to go and actually do a show together, which shockingly we've never done up to this point.
Never done, no. Apart from that one time that we didn't even know each other.
Apart from that one time we didn't know each other.
That one time that we didn't know each other, that we happened to be at the same Dragon Force concert.
Oh yeah,
back in Manchester.
Was it the Black Crusade one?
Yeah, well, just like our backs.
Just like hey, actually, my back's been pretty good this weekend.
I was quite chuffed that you said that you were doing pretty well.
Yeah. See, going to the gym. Although I was planning to go to the gym today, but it just did not happen. I don't know. I was just exhausted. I was just too tired. I didn't go today.
We can have laxing days. We can have lax days.
I'll go tomorrow. It's just an awkward time. This whole 9 till 12 and then 4 till 7. It's just an awkward time. I like to go like late morning, but I'd only have like an hour left, and it's not worth going at that point. And then later in the day, it's just too late. It was just bloody awkward. Let's get this video going. This is Woody B. I don't know this person. I just seen I thought we'd have something visual on the go.
Yeah, probably best.
A Rebirth speedrun. I think cutscenes are skipped in this, so it's nothing majorly spoilery. But I'll leave the music on as well. I have to keep it low on my end, because otherwise I won't be able to hear the Zachary. Keep chat there. But if anyone wants to make any music requests from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you are more than welcome to. I do have the soundtrack available. So how do you want to start?
Where do we even begin?
Hey, Onion, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. So yeah, we went to the Distant Worlds concert in London. Well, it's not Distant Worlds, is it?
It's not. It's
the same team, though.
Same people, yeah.
It's the same team, same people. Conducted by Arnie Roth. Hope you're doing well today, Onion. I've been to Royal Albert Hall before, so I'd like to hear what was your experience with the Royal Albert Hall and to see an orchestra.
Well, can words really do it justice? That's the
well, you're gonna have to try because that's all you've got.
Because that's all I've got. I know I can't really do any more actions. But on approach when we were driving to it, or just driving past it, obviously you can tell like how big the place is with how like the big the orb. It's kind of like I was saying to you on the way in, didn't I? I said it looks like the arena from the Blitzball. Just expecting it to open up.
Oh yeah, the top end.
The top end of it, yeah. Which is made me laugh a bit, and I was like, oh yeah, I was expecting Titus just to come out and do some
inject
shots.
It's an old building though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Oh, it's been,
very old building.
Been around for a very, very long time. But yeah, it looks like a Blitzball arena. It does.
Like the top really bit here.
Yeah.
You were talking about that when we were on our way in. And
yeah.
It was going doom 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 doom. Look at that. Like that was pretty much how it was when we were in there. Like it was full. It looked full.
Yeah, it was full.
It was sold out.
Yeah.
Sky view.
But yeah, I was kind of, I don't know why, but like when I first walked in, because the thing is, like, I was expecting it. I don't know why, but I've been to Wembley, and I'm not expecting Wembley size because that's one of the biggest stadiums in the UK, or in fact, it is the biggest stadium in the UK. But seeing it and thinking, because on the outside it looks, it's quite big, and when you're on the inside, like when you first walked in, I was like, wow, like, oh wow, this is pretty big. This is, but when I sat there, and I'm just it's me little pickings, by the way. I'm not saying this is this is not a negative. It was just I thought it might have been a little bit bigger. I just thought it was I thought it would have been a bigger. So, but that's just me nitpicking. But it was fantastic. It was a decent sized arena, shall I say?
I think I mentioned it on the day. It's it's a very old stadium.
Yes,
and it was built during a time where the likes of us, working class, would never ever be able to afford a seat. There was only like upper class, like politics, the rich, business owners that would ever manage to afford a seat at this place, right? So I imagine there was never a need for it to be like Wembley size. But it's hard to accommodate now when in our current time frame when anybody can buy a ticket. It's not class restricted.
Nope, they are a bit more.
But it does mean it's sold out quicker.
Yeah,
hey Matt,
is true.
How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
Hey Matt. But yeah, so on the so from there it was all up from there, because bloody hell, it was fantastic, wasn't it? It was. I don't think there's any. I can try and explain it, but it's like one of those like you've listen. It's the soundtrack, right? You could put the soundtrack on in the background or whatever, but that's fine. But listening to it live and hearing different renditions of certain tracks, because they did the Mount Coral climb, and listening to that done via an orchestra, because obviously in the game it was done very techno dancing based thing, whatever you want to call it, but listening to it from a orchestra perspective, which was really good, and I was like, wow, they've done a really good job. And I feel like that was one of the only one that they did that was probably more upbeat, because I kind of like everything else they did was very orchestra, like everything else.
Up London.
Oh no, they did the Bow Wow Wow theme, of course. Stamp's theme as well.
I was very surprised by.
That was surprised, but it got a. I mean, when that was in the game anyway, that got a big following very quickly.
You know what? I don't recall it in the game. Don't know why. Probably because I've only played the video game once, and I've only heard the soundtrack all the way through. That's what we're talking about now, Matt. We're talking about our concert experiences. Again, with my own memory, I don't remember a lot of things, but in the Rebirth soundtrack, because there's so much music, don't remember every single track. It's just
God, no.
tracks that stand out in my mind. And obviously the Queen's Blood one. When they played Queen's Blood track,
yeah, that was great.
I was bouncing.
You were bouncing, and everyone else was bouncing with you because
I didn't care. I was so in the zone. I was so rocking. I wanted to stand up and get into the moment. Sadly, I think that would be frowned upon.
That's a shame, really, because I think that it would have been good. Because I was expecting at any minute for a bunch of Shinra shoulders to come in.
Oh yeah, they got to play when the track did you wanted to, wasn't it? Rufus's
ceremony. Oh, that was great. I loved it. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was. I was one track. I was like, I'm gonna get them recorded. I was gonna sit there and I was gonna just give it a little. I was gonna record a bit of it, and I didn't because I was just too engrossed. It was one of those that you just like. I wanted. I did want to. I wanted to, but I was just like, I'm on it. I'm just gonna enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy this.
We still got a couple of pictures, didn't we? Oh, you did rather. I think I got one picture. You got a couple of pictures.
I did get a couple. It was mainly others, really.
Yeah. How was the ride down there and back? It was, to be honest with you, the ride down there I was okay with. It wasn't that bad. Even with me, for those who don't know, I am a chronic peer. I need to pee every 10 minutes. I just got a very tiny bladder. So, but our designated driver, Paigey, what trooper, she got us there and back home safely.
She would have drove in one sitting if she had her way.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And she would have gone, nope, we're going the whole way. You can hold to your bladders. No drinks for anyone.
She has a stubbornness to her.
Yeah,
we do. All three of us do, to be honest. But but a lot of times it works in our favor.
It does.
Like it got us there and back safely, and sorting out queues and prices and all that. Because I'm very much we'll get there when we get there, or whatever happens. I'm just a go with the flow. Whereas Paige is very much, no, this is how it's going to work, and she will push through to get it done. She's a right trooper. I've never known anyone to be so busy. She's a busy lady. So I've got the track listing up. We played some right bang. They played some right bangers.
They played the bangers. They played everything that they needed to play.
Like I was saying in the car ride home, like when I said there's like 100 hours worth of music, I was well off. It's 629 minutes of music, which is what? I don't know math, lads. I don't know math.
He's mathing. Oh, he's mathing.
Mathing. 10 hours. 10 hours of music that they have to boil down to like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, which is a mammoth task, right? Which tracks do you pick? There's always going to be music. 10 hours, half hours. Which tracks do you pick? And you're always going to miss out one that someone really wants to include in the show. Like I think you're after a Zach theme.
Yeah, it'd have been nice to have had some, but I think I have kind of dubbed the thingy theme as part of Zach's because it's, I don't know why, but it reminds me of the Zach bit. Hang on, what's it called? Hang on, I had it up. I'm not prepared. Where is it?
I'll send you the track listings as well on
Hollow Skies.
Yeah.
I kind of dub it on Zach theme. That should be Zach theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got that guitar. That
I was surprised they did Hollow Skies. Well, not too surprised. I was very pleased they did Hollow Skies.
It's just that bit. Like, it just reminds me of like something that it reminds me of Zach in some ways. Yeah, Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. I know I'm probably not going to get the actual main theme, but there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. It was fine either way.
I was. Yeah, no worries, Matt. Thanks for the lurk. Much appreciated. Enjoy your chores. Enjoy your chores. I was very much content with the track listings, with one, well, two, but one's kind of a jokey niggle, but one that was quite a bit of a niggle was, I think you shared the same sentiment.
I did, yeah.
We got to hear No Promises to Keep.
Yes.
And which, if you know the scene in the game, is quite an emotional track, and part of that is who's singing it and the lyrics behind it. And when you finish the game, it has even more weight to it. And they played a different rendition of it, which does not have lyrics. And I appreciate it's a different rendition. It's an orchestra. The lady who sings it was not in attendance. And they didn't sing it with the lyrics. And it was just...
Yeah,
not
it just took
what they did was bad.
No.
It was perfectly fine. It was just missing something, and I can't help but shake the niggle. I can't help it.
It didn't help with, I suppose, with them playing the cutscenes in the background. Like I get it why they
it's like it was sort of setting up like someone was going to sing.
Someone was going to do it. I know. I was like, oh my god, is someone going to sing this? And then it was complete silence, and I was like, oh, that's an absolute bummer. That's
like a bummer. I couldn't help but shake that feeling. And do you remember when I said there was one of the not mine, but the AFC member was going to the show, and we didn't meet up, sadly. But I was speaking to them after the show the next day via Discord, and they felt the exact same thing.
Yeah,
but they were like, "Oh, it was just a drop," but it came. But the rendition itself was
it was great. It was beautiful.
It was perfect.
Anyway,
it was well orchestrated. It was just a missed opportunity, which is okay. That's fine. Copium.
Copium, yeah.
And my other little niggle, which is incredibly personal, it's incredibly petty, it does not matter in the slightest, is they played the Loveless song, the Loveless, the track listing calls A Gift of the Goddess, and if you know that section of the game is where the big place happens. And thank you for the follow, much appreciated.
Thank you for the follow,
Alex, much appreciated. Thank you for the follow. I picked a robot that had a thick Welsh accent. That reads it out for me.
Very Welsh on this channel. Very Welsh.
Very Welsh. Lost my train of thought. Where was I going? Yes, and the cutscene changes depending on who you have a max relationship with, and they picked Aerith, and I'm like, no. When I was watching the cutscene, I was like, no.
No, we're shipping Tifa and Cloud here.
Tifa and Cloud. I understand from maybe more of a narrative perspective why Aerith would be the princess in this story. I totally get it. It's just me. It was very personal. And it worries me that they think maybe the Aerith and Cloud is the canon couple, and I'm like, nah, bruh, nah, nope. But maybe there never was a canon, whatever. It was just whatever people picked at the time.
It was Barrett all along.
It was Barrett all along. I'd be happy with that. I'd be more happy with that than Cloud and Aerith.
Yeah.
Aerith is purely with Zach. That's how I see it. And
you're right.
But anyway, that was like such a personal niggle to me that it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But
and the other one was because they went more with the not risque outfits. They didn't have fully, they didn't go fully in on it, shall we say.
Yeah, they played the Costa del Sol one track. I think it was it in set 2?
Yeah, set 2 they did that one. I think it was set 2. It felt like it was set 2.
Doesn't say, actually. It might be in set 1. Either way, it doesn't matter. Oh, no, it was in set 1. Yeah, it was the 10th track they played.
Was it right at the end? It might have been
the
right
last
at the
half
end
of set 1.
Oh, right, okay.
And the cutscene depicted everybody in their more clothed beach attire, which fine.
Yes.
It's very, very fine. It doesn't matter.
Really doesn't matter. I know. We're nitpicking at it now.
We are literally nitpicking. The entire experience itself was.
You can't. You can't. I don't know. There's no. What else can you say other than you've got to be there to experience that kind of.
We neither of us took any video.
No.
Zach took a few photos of.
I took a photo
of the stage.
Yeah.
They took a picture of the stage. I think I managed to take a picture of the stage, but and Arnie Roth and Masashi Hamauzu.
Yep, Masashi. Yep.
He was in attendance, and Arnie Roth, of course, conducted. So it was very much a Distant Worlds. The team. It was a Distant Worlds team there. I just don't think they called it Distant Worlds. Just VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
Which is fine. The track listings as a whole, I think you would have liked it if Gus's theme was in there, but I could totally
that
understand.
Was more of a that was never going to be in it. Like never. I was happy
to be in there.
That was just going to be like my hidden. That was like the we know you and we're having it for you type thing. That would be it. Because I was never ever going to put that in. I was more than happy when I heard Rufus's ceremony, so I was done.
Yes, that was another one that got the whole crowd pumping.
It did, yeah.
How did you you've been to concerts before, like rock concerts?
Yes.
So how do you feel it was compared to a orchestra concert to a traditional rock concert?
So as I was saying, like when I got back and I was chatting with you and Paige about it, saying about I was like, is it just me or does it feel like it was just too quiet? But that's just because I've been nothing but to rock concerts where I've literally come out of there and I can't hear for days. So, that's what my I don't know my expectations, but I just felt like, oh, this is actually quite calm. Like I was like, absolutely. Did it need to be a bit louder? Maybe did it need an amp? But I think that's just because like I have never been to these before. But it was great, and like I can't actually thank like them enough that there was no amp because I can hear. I haven't got the buzzing noise in my head.
I know, right? Exactly. It's just
this is fantastic.
Like, when you come off of a rock concert, you're still feeling it a couple of days later.
Yeah.
Like in your ears and ringing. That's why when I go to a rock concert, I wear earbuds that reduce the decibels. Like what drummers wear. Whereas I don't really need to at a concert like this, like an orchestra, just because, as you say, it's not trying to rip your eardrums out. And they don't need amps because it's all percussion and strings, and everyone was so quiet and respectable.
Everyone respectable there. Like it was very, it was. I mean, you kind of expect it because, the nice thing about it all is just the fact is that everyone, it was a sellout crowd, and it was just nice to be with Final Fantasy fans, just all of us in awe and enjoyment of what brought us literally probably the main reason why we're gamers. What all of us in one room to basically give back to this game that made at least yourself and mine, the reason why we're doing this podcast, the reason why we're here in the first place.
Hey, Paige, hope you're well.
Oh, Paige is in. The driver has arrived.
The chauffeur has arrived.
The chauffeur is here. The Uber,
what a trooper.
The Uber driver.
What a trooper.
Aye.
And she drove the next day. Crazy.
She drove it. I know. Absolutely honestly, I would never have done that. Thank you, driver. Thank you, driver.
Thank you, driver.
Thank you, driver. She's even forgot. She's forgot about it already. Yeah. Oh, this weekend. Oh,
should have
yeah.
had Paige on the podcast, really, because she was there too. She was one of the people there.
Yeah, we would have done. But yeah, so but no, as I was saying, yeah, it was just like I said, it's so nice to have a experience and to be around everyone who is like us, just fans.
Thanks for the raid. We're getting raided. Tranquil Rain, thank you very much.
Christ, are we raided? Raided! Raided!
Actually,
my God!
Actually, I think that was
It's happening.
Oh wait, we're not getting raided.
No, we're not getting raided.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Oh no!
Do you know what I've just done?
What have you done? You've just called out on someone else's raid.
I've called out the raid on the streamer who we're watching.
Oh my God. Oh, if that's not cringeworthy, I'll never know what is.
Bro, I live for cringe. I live for cringe.
God. Oh no. Oh God. Right, we should get royalties for that one. Can you contact this guy who's doing it? We just call that one of his raids. God.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm fucking clipping that. I'm clipping that.
We're never gonna get big. We're never gonna get big, honestly. We're doing stuff. Oh my God. Oh dear.
I am absolutely clipping that.
Well. If you can't laugh with us, you'd have to cry. And if you can't cry, you have to laugh.
Hold on.
Oh dear. Well, what can you say to that? Let's try and move on from that one.
I'm alright with that. I don't care.
So,
what were we talking about?
Yeah, so the other thing was, I wanted to say was that, you know, I don't know actually now. I'm completely lost. We're saying about people being there and having the experience with a bunch of Final Fantasy nerds, basically. Because we're all Final Fantasy nerds.
True.
And it was great to be there with you.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, considering we've been friends for like 13 years, we've never actually... no problem, Paigey. Thanks for the look. We've actually never been to a show before. We've been to like Comic Cons and like conventions, things like that, stuff during the day, but we've never actually been to a music concert before.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, doesn't really matter why. And I'm incredibly grateful and thankful that like this was our first one that we ever been to, like together. Like we met over Final Fantasy VII, and our first concert was Final Fantasy VII. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's something special, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. Like what a time. And I'm someone who always goes to concerts on my own. I'm just quite comfortable going to any concert anywhere on the planet on my own. I'm very comfortable with that. More so that I've been to more concerts on my own than I have with other people. And this is the first concert I've been with someone for years and years and years and years. And it's a different experience. It's a totally different experience. And it's not that my other experiences in a concert on my own were lesser. This is just different. And I loved that, to go with someone who's just as passionate about the music that we're going to experience, and just to share in the lead up to it and after it.
Yeah.
Because when the show was finished, we were like still buzzing for it. We were just in talks about it. And then the minute we got back into the car, we were kind of just dead and just regretting the drive home. That we didn't really have enough time to just bask in its glow. Which is kind of one of the reasons why we kind of wanted to do this today, do this discussion as soon as possible, so we could try and have that experience now, because at the time we were getting to that. We were just so hyped about the show. We were just experiencing. We were just throwing out words, and then when we got back in the car, it was time to go home, and it was just, we were knackered by that point. But yeah, I'm incredibly grateful that me and you and Paige got to experience it, and I had a fantastic time. And I want us to just go to more shows like that, like the pet. All three of us.
I'd love to. You know, it's obviously one a bit more closer. That would be nice.
Yeah, maybe not. That was a one-off. Like I think I was saying to you on the day, like that was my 5th time going to London, and every time I've gone to London, it was for a show. I don't go to London casually. It's not somewhere I would go just to have a look around the place.
Yeah,
I'm more of a go there, go to where I need to do, and then come home. But it's always a treat to go to Royal Albert Hall. I've been there a couple of times now. This would be my 3rd time going, and I absolutely loved it.
I'm sure it won't be my last. I'm sure I'll be going again in the near future, and definitely will be going again for the 3rd one. I will definitely be part of that. I won't miss that one.
Well, we're going to. Well, I'll be going there in March anyway.
You're going back to
see
another one.
The Final Fantasy 14 one. Yeah, to see the Final Fantasy 14 and 16 show. I don't know why this YouTube video keeps stopping on me on the stream.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, for some reason it just keeps stopping. I don't know why. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, it was a great time. Minus one little niggle with No Promises to Keep. I thought it was a fantastic show. I thought the set list was near perfect as it could be, especially with the medley. Like, they did a medley of all of the different regions.
Yes, they did.
All combined into one long song. And it was, I really do hope they release a soundtrack of this eventually.
I would love
the
that.
show.
I'd love that myself.
I can't remember if they did for remake. Shall we have a look? Final Fantasy 7 567 remake. I don't see one.
No,
there's orchestra arrangements.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an orchestra arrangement. I don't know if Tiny Roth is not credited. And there's 66 tracks on there, so I don't think that's one of the shows, so probably not. But I need to do more research on that.
It'd be a shame for them not to do something, because it was, like I say, these tracks that they've done. It'd be a shame for the world not to hear it. You know, I know it's like you've got to be there, and if it is you've got to be there, then I'm glad I was a part of it, because if these songs will never be heard ever again, then so be it. They are engraved into my head. So you'll have to
I'm
come
glad
and
it's
put
engraved in somebody's, because we were talking about my experience with the remake concert.
And you said you don't really much remember it.
I don't really much remember it, sadly. As is my own brain, I'm not very good with recalling information.
Yeah.
Especially the longer time has passed. And I know I was there, and I can remember flashing images. But I don't recall the songs, sadly, anymore. But I knew I was there, and it's like that for me with any concert I go. After enough time has passed, I've forgotten the songs they played. It's just, I just remember images. Which, that's fine. It's just part of life. It doesn't mean they have less value. And I know I will remember this one for a while, because I know I might not remember the tracks, but I will remember me, you, and Paigey being there, and I'll remember where we sat and where
Yeah.
what we wore, and
it was our own journey. It was
and our own journey down there and a journey back home, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. So this will live long in the memory.
Yep.
And I look forward to when part 3 comes out, not just for the video game, but for the concert that will inevitably happen as well.
Yes.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to add about the show?
I mean, I think we've kind of said everything. As you said, do you want to go through the list? Have we actually gone through the list of songs they've done?
So the songs they did, start from the top, was The Unknown Journey Continues, which is what we just played now.
Yeah.
I know at the moment it's Another Busted Sword. Unfortunately, people listening later on YouTube won't be able to hear the songs, and the app that I use to read music doesn't work for the music player I'm listening to because it's not on Spotify yet. So first track was The Journey Continues, which opened up with the opening of Rebirth, where chaos is just happening, right? And I was thinking at the concert actually, is because the games themselves are fully orchestrated, they were pretty much how I would expect to listen to it when I was playing the video game. Like, there's not much of a difference.
There wasn't any, to be honest. There was a couple of times I was just watching it and thinking, this is just the game. No, it was like, this is done really, it's just, that's what it is. Because it is predominantly, most of the game was done orchestrated.
Yeah.
Predominantly. There was obviously a couple of battle tracks, which they would add a bit more of a drum and bass vibe or a techno beat.
It's basically the battle tracks that were redid for the concert.
Yes.
But, I'm looking at the track listing and I'm thinking like Custom Valkyrie. That was very much redone for the concert, and even Queen's Blood to an extent, and certainly Hollow Skies. So there's definitely tracks within the set list where it was pretty much what you would expect from the video game. If I played the video game and they said, "Oh, this is the Distant Worlds version," I wouldn't have known the difference, because I believe it's still the Royal Hall that recorded the original soundtrack. I believe that's the same people who they used for that soundtrack.
Right.
Royal Symphony London. And then you get other tracks like Sephiroth's Reborn Symphony right at the end. That was such a good one.
That was great.
They did a bait and switch with that one where they started off with Eris theme and then boom, Genova, or boom, Sephiroth's Reborn theme. And I think if they didn't do either Sephiroth's or Eris theme at the show, I think it would be a bit worse off. If there's ones that you have to play at every Final Fantasy show, probably One Winged Angel or Sephiroth.
It's like the best of, isn't it? It's like, that's what I mean. Like, when you think of Final Fantasy, if you go into a concert, you've got to play Aeris theme and Sephiroth's theme in some capacity, even if the game doesn't feature them. Even if it doesn't, you've just got to play it. You just have to. It's like everyone, when you go to a concert and you go and see one of your favorite bands, and they're like, right, well, we're gonna do our new stuff, but then at the end we'll do an encore, and then you'll have the said so tracks that everyone loves. That's kind of what it was, and that's exactly what happened. He came, Arnie Roth came back out and then was like, right, Sephiroth theme, Aeris theme, done, and then walked off into the sunset, the legend that he is. But yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, and they're fantastic renditions. I do hope a soundtrack version of this does come out. I mean, I'm looking at the remake one, and it looks like it's an orchestral arrangement one. It just won't be that specific orchestra. It's just a orchestra arrangement. So if they did one for remake, they're going to do one for Rebirth. In fact, have they already done one for Rebirth? Do you think they've done one already? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I think if they did have one, or if they had it, there would have been. It probably would have been at the merch stand. Oh my god, we haven't even spoke about the merch stand.
Oh god. Unfortunately, because we got there quite late.
Yeah.
Right, doors opened 6:45, and we didn't get in there until like what 10, quarter past.
Yeah, it was about 10 past. I think it was around
we
about
had
that.
trouble with the parking. They sent us a postcode for parking on the ticket,
which was just a road.
And it was just in the middle of nowhere on a road. It was just, so again, Paigey, she asked the best person you could possibly ask, which is a Domino's pizza delivery driver.
Yeah, the best. Yeah.
Who knows the roads better than a Domino's pizza delivery driver?
Exactly.
And they like, go that way. I think the Domino's pizza delivery driver did actually give us the correct directions. I think we just went into the first car park we seen after that, which was the wrong one, which is fine. And then that car park person sent us to the correct way, and we got there eventually. It's just unfortunately meant we got there late. Well, not late. We were there on time. It was just
we were, yeah. It was just like I said,
half an hour after the doors opened. So the merch stand was. It wasn't much left.
No.
I'm very grateful for Zach for getting me a t-shirt.
Flying off.
Yeah.
Flying off the shelf, literally in front of us, because we were. What about a couple of people in front of us, and then just seeing all of the vinyls that they had all gone. They were taking the last 3 off the display. The t-shirts were going, and they took the last 2 off the wall. And I'm thinking, oh, we're not going to get anything. We're not going to get anything. But Paige managed to find a fight a way through, bless her, and was asked about if first of all the program, and then they said they had the final one left, and that was it, and they took it off the bloody wall. And then this girl came round literally within just after handling that, said that we've got 3 t-shirts left, 2 small and 1 medium. And for me, like I'm a fussy bugger. I like to have my clothes a little bit baggy.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to have a bit more room. A bit more room. And I would have, if I had another medium, I would have got it. But I was more concerned for you. I was like, because you're the one who's been to all of these and you've always got a t-shirt. I'd hate for you not to get one.
Actually, I've never gotten a t-shirt. That was the thing. The t-shirt thing is only something I've recently started.
Right.
I've only got a t-shirt for the Nia concert I went to.
Yeah.
I got a t-shirt for that one. I don't even know why I did. I think it's just because they had loads of the merch stuff there. I thought, you know what, I'll get myself a t-shirt. There's always been one who never seen the point of buying a t-shirt at shows because it's just expensive for what they are. Even for this t-shirt, it was £30. It's it's a lot of money for a t-shirt. It's a black t-shirt.
Yeah,
and I've got enough black ones. But I got one at the Nia show, and I've worn it loads since. I spent 30 quid on it. Damn right, I'm going to be wearing it a lot. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of wish I did get t-shirts from a lot of the shows I went to, like the Distant Worlds one, the like some of the bands I've been to see in my life. I wish I got a couple of t-shirts then. So it's something I recently started doing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't fussed if I didn't get the t-shirt. Because we both looked and the t-shirts were gone while you were in line, weren't they?
They were. They were all gone.
Me being me, I needed a wee. So I said, oh, if they have a t-shirt, get me one. But I didn't think that I was going to get one, which is fine. I was totally cool with it. When I came back, you gave me one. You gave me the last one.
I did. It was last medium.
And I'm incredibly appreciative of it. Thank you. I was wearing it yesterday. I'm not wearing it now. I'm the blessings of not having a camera, and I'm in my pajamas at the moment. I'm in a dressing gown because it's cold.
Yep, that's the best way to be.
And but I did wear it yesterday when I went to visit me nan. I'll probably be wearing it all of this week. Well, thanks for snagging the last one. Very much appreciated.
No problem. I was happy I got off program because I was on the way down. Like I haven't been anywhere. That's other than I went to a wrestling show going back a couple of years ago. And I got a program from there, but mostly anywhere else I've gone, there's no program. So I was like, oh wow, there's actually a program. I wasn't expecting one. So I was quite chuffed I got one.
I wasn't expecting the program to be that expensive.
No, that was it. It was a bit expensive, but I was just like, sod it, I'm getting it. I don't care. I don't bloody care. And of course, I was surprised with Paige at the interval. She'd gone and bought me a Final Fantasy VII soundtrack.
She did. Bless her. Can you hear the track that's playing now?
No.
Towards Mount Nebel. There is actually a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth orchestral album. There's one already out.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, it's got 10 tracks on it. And it's got...
Oh, is that it?
It's got a lot of what was played at the show.
Oh, right, okay.
Every song that was played at the show... every song on this 10-track album was played at the show.
Right.
I don't know. I put it into the mod chat for you to acquire later.
Oh, okay.
The usual source.
I will, yes, acquire.
And you've got a better memory recall than I have.
Yeah, that's true. I will give it a listen, and I'll let you know if it's very similar, or in fact, if it's exactly the same.
Which is totally fine. Now, at least there is an album out there that people can listen to and refer to.
But speaking of what I did when I got back, in fact, I only did it yesterday. I bought the Final Fantasy VII Remake Plus soundtrack.
Oh, did you? Excellent.
Yeah. Because I haven't got that. So I mean, I know I can acquire it, but I was just like, no, I'm in the mood. I was gonna, I'll get it, and it was quite relatively cheap, so I was quite happy to get it because it's four discs of Final Fantasy goodness, and it's all the other tracks that weren't on the main soundtrack.
I can't wait for the plus version.
I can't wait for the plus. Honestly, do you know what? I'm going to say it. I was kind of hoping they would have done the Chocobo Metal theme. I want Arnie Roth on the vocals. You let me down, Arnie. You let me down.
I knew straight away that wasn't going to get played. I knew straight away. It would have been cool, though.
That would have been.
I want the Plus soundtrack because there is... when you go to Coral Prison in Rebirth, and you're just wandering around, there's like a band playing.
Oh yeah, all the bands, all the music that's there.
One of them was playing like a really cool like punk rock riff.
Yeah,
I like that one. And I stood there for a good 10 minutes just listening to the tune, and sadly that wasn't on the main soundtrack, which makes sense. It was just a random passerby music, so I'm hoping that gets a section on the Plus soundtrack.
I hope so too. I'll be getting the Plus one as well.
I would like to get so many soundtracks on CD. It's just one, they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
And I picked my vice, which is vinyls. I picked my vice and I'm sticking to it. So getting soundtracks is just, it's not on my radar at the moment. Especially when I'm trying to not bring stuff in my life anymore.
Yeah, stuff, I know.
Keep it to a minimum.
You got your Persona one, didn't you?
I did. You got it. Yeah, I got it the other day. I haven't listened to it yet. I'll listen to that tomorrow. Just today, I don't know what I did today. I just took my blanket, sat on the sofa, and I just watched YouTube all day, just falling in and out of sleep.
There was a lot of cosplays there, though.
There was a lot of cosplays. Yeah, there was more than I thought there'd be. Actually, was there? No, I don't know why, but I keep thinking there'd be more cosplays than I think there's going to be. But
I thought there was quite a few. I was like, I definitely know I'm at a Final Fantasy concert.
True.
There was a great. I didn't see the full. I only saw the backside. I mean, I say that respectfully, and I know Paige's.
Looking at the backside.
But I only saw from the perspective I saw quickly, and I just saw a big red dress, and it was just and from the back, honestly, I thought it was Aerith. Like from the back, it was just like that's Aerith. so I didn't really see the whole thing.
Some
but
cosplayers
I was like,
do a really good job.
that was why I was like, wow, that was really good in the full red dress.
I think what it is, I think it's, if you can get the hair right,
yeah,
and then the outfit, it just completely works. It doesn't matter what body type you have or skin tone you have. I think if you get the hair and the outfit right, then it looks amazing. Like, it looks amazing. But to be honest, you know, it doesn't matter if the outfit looks shit. You're there to represent your favorite character, and that's the thing that's
exactly. That was it. Look at the picture that we took when we were in Birmingham, and then we had Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith in that photo. They were fantastic, and you know, yeah. I mean, like I say, you know, they as the facials, they weren't the spitting image, but their outfits and hair were spot on.
Yeah.
And exactly. The whole demeanor did help. If you've got that demeanor about you and the personality to match, go for it. 100% go for it. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do it.
Absolutely.
Go and do it.
Totally agree.
100%. Just go and do it, and you'll love it, because I'd love to myself. I would. It's money. It's money. A lot of effort. And that's part of the problem. Like, I just, you know, I'd be just try and find some cheap thing off eBay or something. But these people put a lot of effort into it. They put a lot of effort.
I would love to go in like an outfit. Like I was saying to you on the days, I'd love to go as my my FF14 main in March.
Yeah,
and I'm just thinking of the outfit the character wears. I'm like, ugh. One, because it's not something you can buy, like 14 outfits, unless it's the main cast, like Ishtola or Thancred, who wear the same outfits all the time. If it's your character, then you're not going to buy the outfit because your character can wear whatever they want. You have to make it. And I'm like, I haven't got I've got the time, I just don't have the money or the patience to sit down and make it. Which is a shame. So it'd be something I would have to get commissioned. And again, I just don't have that kind of money. And as much as I am so into fashion and cosplay culture and outfits, and what outfits go with what and what colours to wear and like different types of shoes and heels and hairs and all that, I will actually love all that. I actually love like aesthetic things like that. I don't want to spend money on it. I just like to look at it. When you look at me in person, I just wear generic jeans, boots, and t-shirts and a hat. As much as I'd love to wear all these cool, fancy outfits and fancy colours, I just don't want to spend the money on it. Sadly. But hey ho, whatever. I can enjoy looking at other people's outfits, and that gives me the same satisfaction. This guy who's speedrunning is like, can you see where he is already? Like
I can. Yeah, he's already at the bloody mines.
Fair play. I think it's 6 hours 15. That's a hell of a speed run.
Has he got the record? Are we watching a record, or is it just the generalized speed run?
I think it's just a general speed run. I mean, 6 hours 15 minutes is pretty fast.
That is pretty quick, considering literally I spent 6 hours just probably running around the first map.
Yep. What is the speedrun record, out of curiosity?
But then again, I wasn't speedrunning it. I was enjoying the game.
And people who speedrun like games like this, they played it properly. Like,
yeah. Oh god, I know. Yeah, I know.
So the guy we're watching is third at the moment in the world. That's 6 hours 6.
Right.
The speedrun is 5 hours 54.
Oh, he's not too far off then.
Yeah, he's not too far off.
Probably just a bit behind on a boss, maybe.
Held by Crystal Crown.
Right.
Either way.
So let us speak a little bit on Remake and Rebirth, shall we?
Do you want to do a separate podcast on that? Only because I'm conscious of the time and I don't know how long I want to speak on it.
No, I didn't want to do a long one. It was just talk about
Video
like
stopped again.
The overall experience. That was kind of all like just a general quick 101 guide to how it made us feel. If you want to do something like that, I mean, unless you wanted to do its own thing, which is understandable because they do deserve a long, in-depth analysis. And
I think it's more to do with I would love to give 7 Remake and Rebirth a thorough discussion.
Yeah.
I would like to do a separate one purely talking about 7 and 7 Rebirth and put them on our tier list. If we still got the ones we've made.
Yeah, I still have it.
I'd actually like to do that and give the full 2 hours they both deserve, because what can I say in 10 minutes other than Rebirth is my favorite game of all time? You know, it genuinely is. It feels like someone in Square Enix has gone into my mind, God help them, and gone, let's make a game for this individual with all of their quirks of their brain.
Yeah.
And they've gone and made it. Like, this is my favorite action combat system of all time. Not my favorite turn-based combat, because it's not turn-based, but it's definitely my favorite action combat of all time.
But it gives you that turn-based feeling.
Turn-based feeling at times, because as much as I love action combat, I do struggle with if it gets a bit too hectic and I need time to breathe. That's why I use a lot of the pause menus in video games all the time. Because if it gets a bit too much, I need to pause it and then take a minute to think about what I need to do next.
Yeah.
And then unpause, carry on. And since Soulsborne has become a thing, they don't offer that anymore. There's no pause buttons because everyone's all about keeping you in the action, which I totally understand and appreciate. Though those games are not playing to my strengths, which is totally fine. I'm not asking them to change. This one, on the other hand, it's not action in terms of like Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry. It's nowhere near that kind of game. It's more akin to a Tales of game, which I actually really love. I love Tales of combat systems. But they give me an option to just slow down time, but not completely pause what's going on.
Yeah.
Just press a button, give everyone their commands like you would in a turn-based combat. I'm watching it now. And then
there's just so much of it, you know, because you don't have just the.
It's a bloody miracle how they managed to do it.
I don't know how they've done it, but they've done it, and
even though it's a different combat system from the original game, it still feels like it. Do you know what I mean? It feels like a 7 combat system.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
agree.
too massively different, yet it is different at the same time. I don't know how the fuck they managed to do it. It's I lack the words and the knowledge to convey.
I think it comes down to multiple different things, because partly it's, you know, it's kept where, you know, roughly the same structure of the HUD. So you have like the health bars, you have them next to you on the right, which was where they were in the game, or kind of, you know, where they were, and then you have the menus where you scroll through, you do what you want. You have multiple different ways. You can either go through the quick way, through your, you know, how you want to play, so you set your own commands. You can have them on the square, triangle, circle, X, you know, have them all on command. You can also just slow, you know, the game allows you to slow down by just going into going into menu mode, and then you can set up your next moves on. You can go to the next person and do the same thing. You
can turn it completely turn-based as well. You can totally do that.
Yeah, and it was you could almost do it, turn-based, and also allows you to play the game from you moving your characters. You move them around, you put them into positions where you want them to be, and you can just, press buttons and spam the square button to attack. And also you have another move where you have the triangle, which is a unique ability to every single character. So obviously, what's on screen with Barrett, you have his charge, which charges his gun, and you let off a more powerful blast. The same thing for Red. Red is one of those you have to build up over time by. Is it usually? I think it depends on what you do. It's like you can defend or you can attack or you dodge and stuff, and you build up the unrelenting thing that he does, and then you can let it off, and then he can go more damage, more numbers. And then everyone's favorite, which is Tifa's, by the way, which was the unbridled strength, which is just OP as hell. If your main wasn't Tifa in Rebirth, well, you were playing the game wrong.
Yeah. Or you wanted a challenge.
You wanted a challenge, but
Tifa's broken in remake.
Tifa is broken. If you know how to
use her correctly.
Yeah.
And in the remake, they have changed it so it's not so abusive, but it's caused other filthy, elements to come into play where she is just still as broken as she was in the first one, but for something different. Like I'm watching a speedrun now, and when you get to unbridled strength, she can do the kick dodge thing.
Yeah,
and she's so quick.
Yeah.
I'd love to do a speedrun of this or remake, but I'm looking at 6 hours. I'm like, I haven't got the patience to sit down for 6 hours to play video games anymore.
It won't be 6, it'll be longer probably for us.
Yeah, because we do it from scratch. Unless it's Final Fantasy 14, for some reason I could play that for 14 hours straight.
You probably would, yeah.
Actually, no, I couldn't, because it took me a long time to finish Dawn Trail. Because I was only playing it in little bits here and there. I just haven't got the patience anymore to play games for a solid length of time. And my brain now struggles. Like, I've always had a hard time finishing video games growing up, but I definitely finished video games growing up, especially like long role-playing games. Now I barely finish a video game anymore. I think
it's just it's to our own taste. And if a game is not, sometimes you can still enjoy a game, but you just haven't got it in you to finish it because it's not ticking that final box. Like, there's some games that will do that for you, and you can't get enough of that game. And there's a lot of games that are very similar today, where you're basically, once you've played one, you've played almost all of them that are coming out.
Yeah, but that's our problem now, just because we've been playing video games for so long. We've seen a lot of, and video games haven't really evolved that much since, I would say, PlayStation 2, 3 era. That's just it's a different conversation, of course, but I just don't think video games have evolved that much since the PlayStation 2 to 3 era. They've just gotten bigger and flashier. But regardless, so that's a different conversation.
The only thing I'm going to say in my own way of my thoughts on both remake and rebirth, and I'm going to try and accumulate this into like one big thought here, so bear with me. So if you take this is a game, right?
It's definitely a video game. Yep,
it's a game. I agree with you. It's a game. End of. There we go. No. So this is a game that just not only impacted my life, it's impacted everybody else's, including here, Mr. Hats, and mostly anybody who probably has, got to know us or had, who came from that time, shall I say.
Yeah.
And it's only, out of all of the games that was crying the most, or at least the one that people wanted the most to have some sort of remake or remaster or some sort of, here's a new way to play Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy, was this. This is the game that cried out the most. There's no other game on this planet Earth that can come anywhere close to the hype of a game getting announced that is having a remaster or a remake. There's not one. You can throw the Silent Hills, you can throw all the Resident Evils, you can throw all the Metal Gears, right? And you can throw all the other games that are coming out or whatever. But not one of them will ever be on Final Fantasy VII's level. Ever.
Final Fantasy VII is just a...
It's a unique game in its own right.
It is.
And so what I'm trying to get to is the fact is that growing up, playing this game as a kid, you know, and then reliving my moments, playing the game again as a bit older in my teens, and then a bit more again and older when in my 20s, and then getting this. Well, we'll get onto the remake in a minute, but thinking all them times ago, like, this is a game, you know, I'm like, I would love this game to have a remake. I'd love it. I would absolutely die. And everyone was saying this. Everyone said it. Everyone was desperate. Everyone was desperate. Days. And eventually, you know, this comes out, and not only does it, you know, that moment that we're getting it, it blew the internet up. It did. Nothing. Like, honestly, it was the most talked about thing for probably months, and it wasn't just thrown away. People literally everywhere they went, it was one of the biggest moments in gaming history for this to ever get announced. And I'll never forget it ever. I'll never forget that feeling of watching that video and seeing that it was actually happening.
Yeah.
But not only did they make the game, they went on to make two of the most... I don't know how to say it other than masterpieces that, you know, when you say, of all games, what could you erase, right? What game that would you love to have erased from your mind so you can replay it again for the very first time? You know, I'm everyone knows I'm a 10 guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that 7. Listen, I've done this for, you know, and I'll say it still till the day I die, that 7 is up there. It is right there next to 10 for me. I know I'm a 10 guy, but 7 is that. I wouldn't have played 10 without 7. So like I said, I would never have done it. So I know what 7 is. 7 to me, I prefer the characters in 7. I 100% prefer all the characters in 7 than 10. 100%. I just think 10 for me, I'm not going on to 10 here, but 10 does something else for me. That's my opinion. But going back to 7, is that this is a game that, playing 7 for the first time when I was young, gave me all of those feels, gave me all of the goods, and we've already been over this. It says the same thing for you, that we've experienced. And not only did they not just go, oh, here's that, but, you know, because a lot of remakes and a lot of things now are just the same. It's just better graphics, you know. But I know this was a huge difference. This was polygons than you know. This was a whole new thing. But not only did they just give us a new experience, but they gave us a damn bloody good experience that blew our expectations out of the world. Both remake and rebirth are masterpieces. They are absolute masterpieces. And I can't thank Square enough. I really
I'm
can't.
in the same boat on that particular point.
I can't thank them enough.
I'm incredibly grateful that.
I can forgive them for 16 for the fact is they give us this, right? That is the only reason, you know. This is the fact is they captured a new experience for the old gamers. We've gone into this, right? And we know the story. To new people, they don't know it yet. You know, they might know it through cuts. They might know it through their own research and what we already know.
Legacy. Like, 7 has a legacy. As proven that it's the only one that's got a remake. Exactly.
So, you know, and the fact is that we know, but the fact is that we don't know. And that's the, you know, it's not just, okay, they haven't changed the story that drastic. It's still, there's bits in there that make you question where they're going.
Story at all. I think even with all the Tetsuya
Yeah.
stuff in it.
The bits that he's put to it, yeah.
It's still going in the direction of the main plot. Yeah. Really. It's only the ending of Remake that completely got us.
It made you think about it, like what is they going to do? Yeah.
Like where it's going to go. And I did speculate before this Rebirth came out that we are going to go to the exact same places in the exact same order, do the exact same quote unquote famous bits, like go to Junon, because I'm looking at it now, and do the Rufus ceremony, and
which was
go to Costa del Sol, go to the Gold Saucer and do the date thing, go to Cosmo Canyon, do the big observatory thing, and go down into the cave and do that. I knew we were going to go to the exact same places and do the quote unquote famous bits of the original 7, like this dolphin thing. I knew the dolphin was going to be there. It was the added bit with like Zach and this timeline thing, and that really got my imagination going.
Yeah,
because like 7 Remake ended, and we literally didn't know where it was going to go. And I'm leaning more on the disappointment side of that now. I was very excited with what they were doing at the end of Remake, whereas now in Rebirth, I'm not totally hot on what they're trying to do. But even with that aside, it's quite a small niggle of a 9 out of 5 game, because we still got to go to all the places that we've been in our memories, and it kept all the characters as they were. They made them better. They just made them bigger and brighter and fleshed out their stories. The bits that they added, not the timeline thing, but all of the characters who got added, it just gave the world more lore for each character. They emphasized a lot of character personalities a bit more. Like, it's got to be incredibly difficult to look at a PlayStation 1 game, look at the text, and gauge a personality from that.
Yeah.
And then turn it into this game, like a fully 3D world with voice actors, and try to copy the same personality. And
no, we can't ignore that
they succeeded. They absolutely succeeded. Cloud is exactly who he is, how I imagined him as a 7-year-old. Barrett is exactly the type of person who I imagined him to be at 7. And Tifa and Aerith and Sephiroth and everybody is exactly how I imagined them to be when I was a 7-year-old kid. And it's unanimous across everyone is, these are the characters who I imagined them to be when I was a kid. And bravo, absolutely bravo.
We can't ignore, I mean, let's say ignore, but we have to acknowledge, obviously, they had Advent Children to help. They had Dirge to help. They had Crisis Core to help with the lore, and obviously the graphical update to the game, because these all came after 7 by many years. And okay, fair enough. You could look.
I think the depictions in Rebirth are much better than.
No. I meant not like you've used those, but they also gave life to the characters. They were from that onwards. They were voiced. Because the original OG7 was not voiced. And now from Advent Children
although it
upwards,
is now.
yeah, with the new mods, of course. Yeah. But
I do want to stream that one day, though.
But but prior to that, adding voices to games helps. And I'm not going into my Pokemon rant because we already did that in the car, didn't we?
That's a different topic.
That's another topic on another day. It does help.
It does help. It does.
It helps more today because of how graphical things are. We see these characters 3D, so we expect the voice. So we're going to get these voices. We're going to get these, enthusiastic characters that are coming to life.
Just to add to that, when you finish that point.
What?
Sorry. Finish your point, and I'll just add on to the end.
Oh no, it like I say, it was just with the with how good everything is in the world. It's all the little things that make it as well. Like again, like on the video now, he's literally just coming into the Junon, where you're literally about to go and do the ceremony.
Yeah.
And you're walking around, speaking to people,
I love
hearing
this whole
stories.
This whole section is phenomenal.
This whole thing from this onwards is a masterpiece in its own right.
Like, it's made every important part of 7 that we remember and made them better.
Yes.
Like, objectively, this is better. Everything they did in Rebirth for me is better. The whole Rufus ceremony thing, the gold saucer thing, Costa del Sol, everything in terms of narrative and with characters is better. Has been bettered here. All the characters have gotten all their spots in the spotlight, and it's been reworked and done. They've fully realized nothing's been left on the table, and I've connected more with these characters than I did to the characters from when I was a child. To go back to what I wanted to say, to tail off from something you said, was I can relate to characters through text. Of course I can. I can read. And
we've all done it.
And I would consider an incredibly imaginative mind, and even that, so that I can imagine worlds and characters in my own mind, and my body will emotionally react. So I can play video games with nothing but text, and my imagination is picking up the slack. And if the scene's done right, with the music helps and what's happening, I can't emotionally react. It's just not as poignant as watching quote unquote real, or what my brain interprets as real actors selling that emotion. So voice acting or character models that do very well. Even anime can move me in so many emotional ways. I'm very much a visual person, because there is a voice there, and a good voice can convey a lot of emotion. Even with anime still images with over exaggerated faces, it can still make me cry. Thinking of a particular scene in Cyberpunk 2077 anime. And this game too, and Final Fantasy 14, especially 14, where they're all basically just mannequins with very little emotional expressions, but with the help of voice acting and just enough of a visual presence, it can move me greatly with emotion. That text just has to work much harder to elicit that from me. That's why, as a kid, there's only very few text-based things that moved me emotionally, and that was the scene in Final Fantasy VII with Aerith. Everyone knows the bloody scene.
Everyone knows it.
A lot of scenes with Vivi from 9. And that was it, really, from when I was a kid. Are there any games that moved me emotionally in terms of making me cry? Other than that, all the other games probably made me like happy or frustrated or whatever, but not emotional reaction like that. I'm incredibly grateful for like voice acting and visual effects being the way they are now.
Yeah.
And then when Final Fantasy X came along, like the waterworks were out. Like that ending just destroyed me. And having my favorite game be all these polygonal blocks be fully realized with all these. Look at all the characters on screen right now. They look amazing, and they're all fully voiced. And it's like playing this game, going back to being a child, but with an adult mind, with my emotions the way they are. And I've connected. I've never been more connected to these characters than I have with Rebirth. And it was just such a privilege to play this game. It's everything I could have ever wanted from a video game. I mentioned it a few times in previous podcasts how my priority with playing video games and anime or even music to an extent is connecting with characters. I want to be what's the word? Consensually manipulated. I think it's the term. Conceptually.
Big words here on the channel. Big words.
Consensually having my feelings manipulated.
Yeah.
To elicit specific types of responses, and that's why I can play video games from quite a long range of genres. But I want to be emotionally invested in the characters. I want to like the characters or dislike a character. That's just as valid too. It's why I love 14. It's why I love 10. And it's why I love 7 Rebirth and Remake. Rebirth, I've never laughed so hard, cried so hard, disappointed so hard. The only other video game that's gotten better than this in some aspects is 14. Different topic altogether. And I'm kind of just rambling now. I'm forgotten the point I was trying to make. Thanks, brain. Thanks, autistic brain. Strikes again. But hopefully you'll get the point. I feel more strongly emotionally with Rebirth than I did back when I was 7 with the original remake. And that was for a long time my favorite game.
Yeah.
And now this is a remake of my favorite game, and it did it better in mostly every aspect. The only little niggles I don't like about it is the new stuff they added in that I call the Tetsuya Nomura effect. His little bits. But then again, I'm kind of grateful in a way of that, because if he didn't do that, then we wouldn't get Zach nearly as much as what we're getting now. So they probably have to add something as to why Zach is featured a lot of the time, which I'd rather they do that than not include Zach at all. But yeah,
I'm kind of glad, like, in a way, that I'm obviously biased, trying not to be biased, but I am. I can't be
Who's your favorite
biased
character?
with it. That, you know, Zach is my favorite character.
No bias. Everything's biased.
No, everything's biased. Of course it is. But no, from a story standpoint, I can understand why people are slightly peeved, or at least a bit like disappointed with how a lot of the Mora effect, or the future plans, or the what if scenarios that changed with at the end of Remake. Seeing Zach walk back to Midgar was a absolute.
That was amazing in Remake.
That feeling of awesome. Seeing Zach walk is not just. Honestly, that feeling, like, honestly, it's goosebumps. It's emotion that I can honestly, I'd have to bottle it and give it to you just to feel it, because I can't give you it any more now than I have. But that is a feeling I'm never going to forget, of just seeing Zach walking back with Cloud and thinking of all of these things that's going through my mind right now. That is something I'm never going to forget. And then Rebirth is the story of how they wanted to portray it, which is, of course, that's how they want. And my brain is deciding to come up with all these other scenarios that would have been, at least I think, would have been great, but never happened. But we don't know the full story yet. We still have a third part. But I can see, you know, as you're saying about with, adding Biggs into that story.
Like even those got like such a big glow up in remaking this one.
It was kind of just, like what were they trying? What were they trying to truly achieve? Like
they just wanted to create a narrative where we could spend time with these characters,
characters again.
And
that was it. It was just
came up with this whole timeline stuff. So this is the reason how we can spend time with all these characters like Zach. Otherwise, we'd only see Zach in a 10-minute cutscene, right?
Yeah.
But Zach has become, even though he's been your favorite all this time, since like the release of Crisis Core and maybe Advent Children, people are really interested in Zach again.
Yeah.
He especially in Crisis Core. Since when Crisis Core came
out, #1 character for a while.
Yeah, like everyone loves Zach, and so it would be a disservice if they just not relegated him, but kept much more closer to the original source, where he was only really in the game for like a brief little moment. So I understand why they are doing the way they are doing it, to make sure he is much more included within the main narrative, because he is now. Yeah. He's included in the main narrative.
He is the main narrative.
I'm incredibly grateful for that. I just wish they did it better. Don't give me 20 million timelines. Just give me a few. Don't need all these 20,000 ones. It's a bit silly. Yep.
We didn't need all them different stamps, but they, Paigey didn't mind them.
No.
Lots of different doggos.
And even more time with Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge. They had a small part in OG, and then they got a bigger part in remake, and they were much more fleshed out. Again, they did everything better in remake. Even all the minor characters got big glow ups, not just in terms of the way they look, but in terms of character performances, and added more lore to them to give them a better sense of place and motivation as to why they are there. And they got a nod in remake, in Rebirth, in the most. That was when they played No Promises at the show. That was the moment I cried when those three came on, and it was the same moment I poured my heart out when I played the game originally. Because I fell in love with those characters, I really did, and consensually manipulated.
You can say again. There we go.
Manipulated. So yeah, I understand why Square are doing the whole timeline thing to make sure characters like those, and Zach, especially Zach, are much more heavily included. And so far, I did say, they should have made it better, but it's fine as long as they just don't go too off the rails in part 3. Like the ending of Rebirth, I think Sephiroth towards the end said it better. Is this all real, or is this just some fever dream?
Yeah,
he actually made a very much a quote like that. It's like even they know this is a bit mental, and which is fine. And I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm just conscious of the time.
Yeah, that's fine. No, honestly,
we start wrapping it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it. It's fine. No worries. I only wanted to do a little bit. It was just talk about it. A little bit.
I definitely do want us to talk about remake and Rebirth in a long podcast.
Yeah,
eventually. Maybe closer, or soon. Maybe soon. I'm keen now to get Resident Evil finished. We'll probably be doing another stream this week, actually.
Yeah, we'll do one on Thursday. We got our Thursday one, hopefully.
Yeah, Thursday. Definitely do that.
Get that one done, and then we can perhaps do a second music one if you want.
Sure.
Because we need to get one of those out there again.
Mm-hmm. Maybe on the third week. Like on the third week, we said we'd do the Silver Foxes getting together to do something.
Yeah.
And I want us, maybe that could be one where we do the remake, Rebirth talks.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 weeks' time, well, 2 weeks' time. We've done an extra special one tonight, just to the circumstances of what we've been up to. But we will keep you all posted in the Discord.
Yep, get those in. Get it in there. Hey, the links are working.
I didn't do it at the start.
Links are working.
I forgot to do it right at the start. There you go. There's our Discord. So join us in the Discord, where you will be updated for when myself and Zakashi Gaming go live on our individual channels. There is our individual channels also there. Please drop a follow. Zach is doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke with Soul Silver and a randomizer. Today would normally
random.
Today, right now, would be normally his streaming time, but he's kindly relinquished that slot for the Silver Foxes today.
That's fine. We did something very special, so it was definitely worth a special podcast.
And I will be live whenever I decide to go live.
Yep, that's usually how it goes.
That is my attitude now.
That's the motto. That is his motto.
That is my attitude. I will go live whenever I feel like going live. I'm normally a daytime streamer, so when I do go stream in the daytime, it'll be in the day. But I will, of course, let everybody know well in advance when I go live. It won't be, I'm going live in 10 minutes. It'll be, I'm going live today in a few hours, or I'm going live tomorrow about playing this game. I'm currently doing a playthrough of Stranger of Paradise. I don't know if I'll get around to finishing it on stream because October is fast approaching and the Pixel remasters are coming out. And when the Pixel remasters come out, that's my stream game until all 6 games are finished, because they are cozy, chill games that I can jump in and out of whenever I feel like. Because that's my only problem with Stranger of Paradise. I've left it so long now; it's going to be really difficult to go back in.
Yeah.
Whereas Final Fantasy, all the classics, I can come in 2 years later and I'll be totally fine. It's not a problem. They are cozy games for me. And of course, at the end of October, I will be playing Sonic X Shadow Generations. I cannot wait to stream that live. I am so happy. Cannot wait for that to come out. And of course, just follow us on the Discord for when the Silver Foxes go live. We are currently playing Resident Evil 5 on Veteran Co-op. We stream that typically on a Thursday and every 3rd week Monday. And any extras we can fit during the week, we will do so as well. So we should be back on Thursday this week with Resident Evil 5 Co-op.
And we shall.
Zach, anything you want to add?
Well, just thank you all for being here for listeners' rant on our love of Final Fantasy VII, our unique experience at the Royal Albert Hall.
Absolutely.
Listening to how our journey was and what we ended up getting up to. Although we didn't really get up to a lot. Although we did see KupoCon there, didn't we? We did get a...
there was a quick KupoCon there. Oh, and
it would have been nice to have gone to, but...
we're just going to go to that, unfortunately. We were literally driving down to London, watching the show, driving back.
And then driving back.
Thanks very much to Paigey Possum. She was in the chat before. She took us there and back very safely. And also, here is the YouTube link to the video we've been watching.
VODs.
No, this is...
it's the one that we've had.
This is what we've been watching today in the stream. The streamer Woody B. And I've put their Twitch ad in the title, so please go and follow them as well. Can I do a shout out? Is that a thing I can do? Shout out. Would EB? I think that's it. Is that how you do a shout out?
Isn't it like explanation SO?
There we go.
And then
it's done. It's done it. Yep, go drop them a follow. That's the speedrun who we're watching now. That was on YouTube, and there's the link. Go follow them. Thanks very much for the speedrun video. So, I think that's it.
That is it.
That is it.
That's it for now.
See you all on Thursday for Resident Evil 5.
All right, Resident Evil 5.
Zakashi, you want to say your goodbyes?
I will do. Thank you again for being here. I will be back very soon, probably next Monday, for my Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Oh, wait. You've gone.
Hello?
Are you still with us?
I'm here. Hello? It says I'm speaking.
Hold on. I think you've disappeared.
No, don't let me disappear. It says I'm still speaking.
Oh no, it was me. My headphones popped off. It's like me. Everything's getting older.
The only way you listen to Silver Fox's podcast is with all of this shit.
With all the jank, with all the
jank,
the nooks and cracks and creaks and silver hairs, and
giving shout out to people who raided us that didn't raid.
Yep. And I wouldn't have us any other way.
Honest to God, I love you, man. I really do. I love you.